thank God, someone finally did something.
What'd they do?
Well, it looks like a representative from Michigan named Shri Tanadar just called for the president to be impeached.
For what? Breathing?
No, most likely for refusing to comply with the directives of 4 federal judicial reviews, including the Supreme Court, that were all ordering him to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States because he was detained and shipped to a foreign torture facility without due process, not to mention the hundreds of other people he has shipped to foreign torture camps without their constitutional right to due process. The president's actions are a clear breach of constitutional law and absolutely amount to an attack on basic human rights and an impeachable offense.
Impeachable for what? Trying to fix years of neglect, fraud, and corruption? Go sit down.
No, I just told you the reason, but if you're referring to Doge when you talk about fixing years of fraud and corruption, I feel compelled to point out that even though Doge has claimed it was slashing hundreds of billions of dollars in fraudulent government spending, it's actually been revealed that this administration is outspending the previous administration by quite a lot. In fact, President Trump spends way more money on average on vacations and golf than other presidents, and it's extra slimy because he usually frequents golf clubs that he owns, so he's actually using taxpayer money to pay his own businesses and enrich himself, which is also illegal and impeachable.
On what grounds?
I just fucking told you.
Over 77 million patriots put Donald Trump where he needs to be. Where are you going to come up with all these dead people to impeach Donald J. Trump?
It doesn't matter if you voted for him. He can still get impeached for breaking the law, which he has done many times since taking office. If you were really a patriot, you would care about the rule of law and the constitutional rights afforded to all residents of the United States.
In most countries, traitors are executed. In America, they become Democrats.
What part of constitutional crisis don't you understand? Do you think a traitor is just anyone who isn't willing to do anything and everything Donald Trump wants?
Yes.
Right, I don't know why I thought.
The one thing you Democrats know better than anything is hate, hate, hate.
Cool, yeah, I was just reading through some of your responses to the news that Representative Tanadar wants to impeach Trump, and unsurprisingly, they were all incredibly racist, because that's who you are. You're just an ignorant, vile, stupid, ugly, intensely bigoted group of people.
He looks so illegal.
Because he's not white?
Yeah, obviously.
You suck.
You need impeached.
What?
You need impeached.
Jesus Christ.
This guy doesn't get. Those who go against Trump get trumped up!
What the fuck does that even mean?
You're gonna get trumped up! That's what it means.
I hate you more than I have words to adequately express.
You with be very short terms, like Rhett play with the Channy. Not with the President of the United States, more influenced Democrat Trey. But they can't because not have moral and honor, and we're disrespect for we the peoples.
Holy shit.
So yeah, you might want to think about that.
I know you don't like brown people. I get that you believe anything Caroline Leavitt or Pam Bondi or Steve Miller tell you. But there's a reason why 4 different federal courts have ruled against the DOJ in the Garcia case. It's because the DOJ failed to establish clear evidence against Mr. Garcia. And it's also because in this country, even people who are accused of having done really bad things are afforded due process. And I know you don't know what due process means or why it's important, but basically it just means that you get to have your day in court to defend yourself. You get to have a process of judicial review to determine if you are actually guilty of the things you are being accused of or not. Without due process, the government can simply say that anyone is a dangerous criminal and justify sending them to a foreign death camp without having to establish any proof of it in court. And if you don't think it could happen to you, then I've got a really famous poem you should read. But here's the real kicker. It shouldn't have to happen to you or people who look like you for you to give a shit. A real patriot who cares about what's right and wrong, who cares about the rule of law, who cares about the integrity of the Constitution and about the concept of basic human rights and dignity should never want anyone to be kidnapped and shipped off to a foreign death camp, because that is a symptom of a nightmarish totalitarian dystopia, and you're gleefully cheering for it because you're too morally rotten and intellectually useless to respond in any other way.
MAGA, 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 MAGA!
God damn it, we are so fucking cooked.